I'm Jessie Masoliva. I'm from Labindam, but I live in Mombasa. I like listening to Gold FM.
Only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Sadie Sakio from Kashmir Lotoka. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Sakata Losana. I'm from Butua and I love listening to Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, banks await directives on COVID-19 assistance. Corrections Service defends Nasila Sila rehabilitation, and Housing Authority to strengthen internal processes.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The Association of Banks hopes there will be more discussions on how banks can help business severely affected by the pandemic. The association continues encouraging those who can to keep up with payments because interest will accrue for deferments. Koroi Tandulala reports.
Association President Saud Minam is hopeful there will be an announcement from banks and regulators on how to support customers in need.
I did have a meeting with a lot of our customers. They're all worried. I think we as individuals across, we all should be worried about what's going to happen, how fast we can get out of this. And these are the questions which everyone has. And I think that's the question which we need to answer. And the only way to answer is that we work together.
The relief has been given by the banks, but how long that lasts, we'll know. So the survey basically is stating the obvious, which everybody talks about, is how we're going to control our and how we're going to expenses and how we're going to keep afloat. Because keeping afloat is very important for especially SMEs.
Suva Retailers Association President Vinay Kumar says members have been advised to be innovative and find alternatives to get through this pandemic.
We cannot rely on the government to do everything for us. We also have to start thinking out of ordinary and start doing things, which you can see it's happening already. You know, there are people opening up, selling from the streets, things like that. There's a lot of things that never happened before.
For everyone to understand exactly that at the end of the day, banks will charge interest and banks will ask the customers to pay back the principal amount as well.
Without knowing for certain how long COVID-19 will continue to affect our economy, Minam says it is crucial for the government, public and private sector to work together to overcome this crisis. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
The Fiji Corrections Service has defended the rehabilitation of former Fiji Sevens rep Aminoni Nasila Sila, who was serving 8 years for rape. It says comments against Nasila Sila are disheartening and counterproductive to rehabilitation efforts. However, the Fiji Women's Crisis Centre thinks otherwise. Aquila Vama with the details.
Fiji Corrections Director of Rehabilitation, Senior Superintendent Salote Panapasa, says they know what's best for Nasila Sila, as psychologists and counselors have assessed him and ensured that he completed the necessary rehabilitation. Panapasa adds the FCS does not condone the actions of Nasila Sila. However, it is their duty to positively address his offending behavior, and he has displayed the necessary progress expected of him. However, the FWCC does not agree.
This must be the only country in the world where there has been the fastest rehabilitation of rapists. One, after 3 months, started playing in a gang rape, implicated in a gang rape, and the other one, not even serving a year of his sentence, has been rehabilitated.
The Corrections Service adds identifying talent is part of rehabilitation, and the Nasila Sila's strength is rugby, and so it's being used to enhance his rehabilitation and eventual reintegration into society. Nasila Sila has undertaken about 5 rehabilitation programs, some of which look at ownership of the crime, healing and restoration.
All research, all evidence shows rapists are the hardest to change. And I don't believe, having worked in this area for over 30 years, that we have the expertise in this country to rehabilitate rapists, convicted rapists.
The Fiji Corrections says Nasila Sila is not the first inmate to participate in public sports, nor he will be the last. Aquila Vama, FBC Sports.
Internal processes at the Housing Authority are being strengthened to weed out corrupt practices. As part of its preliminary investigation, the authority had referred certain homeowners and at least 8 staff to FICAC for allegedly giving false information to acquire lots. Pranita Prakash reports.
While the audit and the inquiry is expected to end in 2 months, the authority says further action will also be taken on the findings.
What we will do is that we
we will go through the process as to that they've been waiting for so long, why they've been waiting, why maybe somebody came ahead of them in the queue and all that. And then the application forms would identify the persons who are involved, whether internally here, and if it's 10 years, it'd probably be maybe an ex-staff or current staff and all that, and that will be given to the relevant authorities to address.
Because what is more concerning for us is how walk-in customers, they get a place as compared to those who are on the waiting list. Somebody has to explain this.
The new Housing Authority Board believes improving internal processes and operations will make them more transparent, effective and efficient.
We are looking at a lot of things here that are, I would say, quite innovative, like having electronic systems in place so you can have the audit trail of, applications and even payments, etc. And we are looking at all the policies, as I said earlier, to ensure that they're all current.
Sito says they have received numerous complaints on lot allocation. She says while only 8 names have been given to FICAC at this stage, more could surface during the investigation. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Fisheries Ministry anticipates a reduction in its 2020-2021 budget allocation. Minister Semikoroy Lavisau says they understand these are hard times and funds will be directed to more urgent areas. Kelly Vadhala reports.
The ministry is ready to work with whatever allocation is given to them, but the challenge is to increase capacity.
So for us, it's just putting it up another level for our work around coastal fisheries, in our work around solar power freezers, feds to improve, providing market and assisting the fishing communities to be able to fish more efficiently and have a surplus that they can generate income out of it. Secondly, we would like to see an increase in aquaculture, especially for food security, both in tilapia and prawns.
Semikoroy Lavisau says with no overseas engagements at the moment, they will focus more on local activities and re-strategizing operations.
The figure that we were given on the COVID-19 budget was about 14.7 million.
Yes.
I think we expect to be less than that because of just the reduction in the overall income that has been generated for government revenue. Tourism is down, a lot of economic activity is down.
With the ministry not expecting any increase in their budget tomorrow, it will try to do more with less and assist as many communities as it can in the next financial year. Kelly Vadhala, FBC News.
Modern infrastructure is crucial to the economy and social fabric of Fiji, says Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama. While commissioning a seawall and road in Toko village, Nasinu Ovalau, Bainimarama highlighted that a reliable transportation network links communities and helps get goods and crops to market. Ritika Pratap has more.
This new road with a retaining wall to protect it from the sea replaces one that had become weak and rutted.
The cost of nearly $1.5 million, but it will produce many times that amount in economic activity that it will help to stimulate every day. It is a well-known fact that an efficient transportation system boosts the economy and helps drive income upward.
The Prime Minister says it's government's priority to upgrade infrastructure, an undertaking they've pushed steadily over the last 7 years.
We have a special challenge in Fiji to link in a permanent and efficient way people living in often isolated areas with other people on their island, and to link all the Fijian people living on all our islands together.
Bainimarama says for too many years, Fiji's rural population were neglected and left to live with a backward road system.
And I will never accept the idea that we can leave even one family or one person behind in this modern economy. Everyone needs an opportunity to contribute and to grow and to prosper. That is why we have emphasized improving schools and improving access to electric power and water.
The Prime Minister highlighted that in an effort to leave no one behind, they've sought to make the internet available to everyone and also extended legal services throughout Fiji. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Up ahead, reoffending rate drops and small businesses bounce back after fire.
मेरा नाम शिबू है, मैं टावर टाउन में रहता हूँ and I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM, it's hot.
My name is Kartik Abdestan और बाग में मिर्ची FM, it's hot.
नमस्कार, मैं अलीम हूँ लंबासा से। मैं हमेशा मिर्ची FM सुनता हूँ। मिर्ची FM is hot in लंबासा।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
There has been a decrease in the number of former inmates who reoffended in the past year. The Fiji Corrections Service says reoffending averaged at 2.5% last year, or about 59 out of 2,433 inmates. This year it's down to 1.5%, which the Corrections Service says is proof that rehabilitation programs work. Venina Rakautonga has more.
The success of the rehabilitation program is shown in the current recidivism or reoffending statistics.
As of today, we have about 42 recidivists, which is 1.5% compared to 2.5% last year. So there is a reduction in our recidivism rate.
Senior Superintendent Salote Panapasa says the rehabilitation process for all inmates are based on the nature of their offence.
Studying the nature of the offence is committed by prisoners today. Most of them are coming in with minor offences, so they have short term to be served. So we have reorganized our rehabilitation program.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church is one of the main contributors. Pastor Talemo Vakombao says the community's role in the rehabilitation of inmates is crucial.
I think the Fiji Corrections Service cannot handle this alone. It needs the help of other stakeholders. We need to work together so that we can have a safe and a better community in Fiji.
The Yellow Ribbon Project is seen as a way forward for ex-offenders to be released back into their communities, be accepted by society and become upstanding citizens. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
About 10 tailoring businesses are back on their feet after a fire destroyed the Suva flea market 2 months ago. Kelton Investments Limited was able to create new space for vendors who are slowly picking up the pieces. Apinisa Wangarandova reports most of them received support from family and fellow vendors who were not affected.
It wasn't easy for Ritesh Lal to see his hard work go up in smoke, but he vowed to get back on his feet. It's already coming true.
My damage was 12,000. I have 4 machines and with the stocks. I'm happy that they give me a space here.
Lal's sister and co-partner in the business says they are receiving help from family.
One of our aunties, she's doing her printing, so we're getting the materials from her, like it's on credit.
Banmati, who also lost her assets to the fire, has since started working for Sanjit Kumar, a fellow vendor who's helping her to earn some income.
Sometimes I just cut the cotton and help him to put on the buttons and all those things just to earn my living.
She's here with me because how everything is bent at the back.
For Vinesh Naidu, his biggest helping hands were family, and after reopening this week, business is slowly picking up.
We had some families from overseas, so they help us to restart again.
Most of these vendors have applied for micro, small and medium enterprise loans from the government and are awaiting results. Aware of the budget announcement, most of them said they want to see the price of basic food items reduced. Apinisa Wangardobu, FBC News.
9 women's organisations will share over $700,000 to help meet their respective deliverables. The grants from the Fiji Women's Fund are funded by the Australian government to ensure these groups address gender gaps and promote equality. Jasaina Nunga reports.
Fund manager Michelle Reddy says the initiative since 2017 has impacted over 8,000 Fijians, with at least 5,600 being women, while 97 are people with disabilities.
The grants and the capacity support that we provide further the work of the women's movement. It is vital, now more than ever. There is an urgent and apparent need for the women's movement embodying feminism to grow and to flourish. Women's organizations, networks and groups are fundamental to advancing women's human rights.
Australian High Commissioner to Fiji, John Fix, says COVID-19 will require organizations to strengthen their commitment and partnership towards gender equality.
Grants will increase awareness and preparedness of rural and remote communities on health risks associated with COVID-19 and TC Harold. It will support people with disabilities. In addition, it will assist women to generate employment and livelihoods for their families and communities.
Merwale Sivilo of Vunikondi village in Maduata says the $5,000 grant will assist the Undu Point women's group.
The group consists of women in the village, and we normally practice the concept of communalism to weave handcrafts and other traditional items.
The Australian government has injected an additional $552,000 to other local partners to boost COVID-19 response and TC Harold recovery effort. Josiah Nunga, FBC News.
Farmers of Tambia village in Maduata have been provided support to improve their livelihood, food security and disaster preparedness. European Union Ambassador to Fiji Sujiro Seam handed over an irrigation system, farming implements and disaster resilience kits made possible through the Wakarawai Fiji Pro Resilience Project. Eleanor Tarangaiviu has more.
These farmers of Tambia village in Maduata are now equipped with the necessary tools to help support their livelihoods and strengthen their resilience to natural disasters.
It's designed to assist rural communities, develop sustainable farming, adapt to drought conditions, and provide sustainable income from farming.
Farmer Meli Songolala was assisted with an irrigation system which includes a water pump, irrigation sprinklers and the piping system to help him with his 2-acre vegetable and root crop farm.
We used to fetch water from the river to water the vegetables, but the irrigation system has eliminated all that. Thank you, EU and ADRA.
The assistance comes under the EU-funded Wakarawai Fiji Pro Resilience Project run by the Adventist Disaster Relief Agency, Fiji. The project aims to improve resilience and adaptive capacities of vulnerable communities in drought-prone areas to reduce food and nutrition insecurity.
Looking after 150 communities, this including both the villages and also the settlements. From the 150, there are 75 for Maduata and 75 for Mba.
Assistance provided under this project include training, setting up of village nurseries, demonstration of farming methods, distribution of farming equipment and infrastructure like water pumps, irrigation systems and water tanks. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Motor vehicle dealer Asker Motors anticipates increased spending by the government to help stimulate the economy. Chief Executive Craig Sims, who says while he has no specific expectations for the budget tomorrow, says he is mindful that the pandemic continues to take its toll on our economy. Sims says what we can do is hope for the best and continue to work and support the government in this difficult time.
So no predictions from me. Let's see. Of course, we all understand the impact to no tourism for the economy, and let's see what happens. There will probably, I guess, be some aid. There'll be some tightening of the belt by the government, and hopefully there's some increased spending to stimulate the economy.
And Whitney joins us now with the latest from business.
Thanks, Jackie. In business tonight, cover industry needs to meet international standards. And in growing Fiji, hybrid seawalls to protect village. Stay with us.
Sangre ay tako sa inya na time au tak may na oro na alo may maduaan. May to ale ahi na Radio Fiji 1 nanto moy binti.
Tambol beraka dengan gosela satakau
au bati tu mai bot kola o ta tingai tabua ondo mai boli tina singile bango na makete ondo tali taka na barrongo na radio Fiji 1 ondo mai beti
rola bina rigi ai ona bango kelera mai na ton mai na kono na lota mai yang te mai ba do tali tangi ne na to mai beti na to monga ni be ya ya
Radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti.
All basic processes and farming techniques need to be followed to meet international market requirements for kava. National Export Market Systems Facilitator Navi Tuivuniwai says a commercial industry needs to be developed where everyone has an idea of what international standards are.
Navi Tuivuniwai says a new level of research on kava will be introduced with the increasing number of people going back to farms.
With the rising level of players entering the market, in future we will continue to grow in the level of sophistication in terms of the research behind kava will be further enhanced.
Fiji Kava General Manager Sales George Kotombalavu says they are focusing on the quality of kava.
This is probably not rare to us only, but it's common to a lot of kava businesses. Is making sure that we provide supply. For us specifically, it's about the quality of kava.
Fiji Kava is providing contracted farmers with seedlings. Kotombalavu says this will enable farmers to plant more and produce better quality using organic methods.
And just making sure that they're able to attend to the plants on a daily basis to make sure that there is no disease that could harm the entire farm, that they're able to safely grow the kava plants and harvest them within the shortest time frame possible.
The company has been educating farmers, resulting in new methods being utilized to increase yield. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji continues taking positive steps to improve service by redesigning its systems and processes. An example of this is new uniforms for 26 enforcement officers based at 12 ports of call across the country. While handing over the uniforms, Transport Minister Fayaz Koya urged the officers to be honest as well as transparent in their duties.
And the uniforms that have been handed today goes with the hope that it will assist you in carrying out your duties diligently and with pride. And when you wear these uniforms, ladies and gentlemen, you're not improving just the organization's image and visibility on the ground. You're actually ensuring MSF's brand is at the forefront and it resonates with what it stands to the public.
We now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest in the money market.
Looking at the latest in market, low oil prices drove New Zealand's inflation down by 0.5% over the June quarter. It marks the largest decline in 4 years, as much of the economy was closed to fight the pandemic. The annual pace of CPI growth closed at 1.5%, raising the possibility of further deflation. Meanwhile, Australia's unemployment rate rose to 7.4% in June, despite the addition of more than 210,000 jobs. It's their highest unemployment rate since November 1998. The economy is heading into a recession as the number of cases climb and some parts of the country reimpose lockdowns. Elsewhere, the world's second largest economy, China, grew 3.2% in the second quarter. Their GDP jumped 11.5% in April to June period, showing a steady recovery. The US dollar was up, reversing earlier losses as investors turned towards it as a safe haven asset. US factory output rose by more in 74 years in June as motor vehicle production accelerated amid the reopening of businesses. And that's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Turning to today's local exchange rates as set this morning, the Fiji dollar showed gains against the Chinese yuan and the US greenback, as well as most of the other currencies we cover. But as usual, when the Fiji dollar rises against the major currencies, the Sangomoli often sleeps against our two major trading partners, Australia and New Zealand. Commodities were on the rise. Crude oil prices climbed a little higher, nearing the $41 a barrel mark. Gold was up $1 at $1,809 per ounce, and silver closed up at $19.29 per ounce. A new hybrid seawall was officially commissioned at Vero Village in Overlau yesterday. The Ministry of Waterways used a combination of human-made and nature-based solutions to build the seawall, which is less expensive than concrete. The Vero Village hybrid seawall is the first, and the model will be used over the coming months and years in the Maritime Islands. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says the need to protect coastal communities is urgent, and the government will continue to pursue nature-based solutions. The government has undertaken 8 coastal protection projects at a cost of more than $5 million since 2014.
The wall is made of boulders that were acquired nearby, which reduced construction costs, and the mangroves planted in front of the wall and the vetiver grass planted behind the wall provided extra protection for their ability to absorb and contain tidal flows.
That's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Naka Whitney, and good evening in Sports Tonight. No sitting in groups at events. And Fiji Sevens prepare for more challenges on road to Tokyo. This and more coming up.
नाम लवेश नारायण है हम रेडियो फीजी टू सुनता है रेडियो फीजी देश के लड़का
जी हाँ मैं ताबुआ शहर से बोल रहा हूँ मेरा नाम शर्मा है फिलहाल मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 हमेशा सुनता हूँ जो रेडियो फीजी 2 देश का धड़कन।
मेरा नाम चंद्रा है मैं रकेती से बात करती हूँ आपके राम राम मुझे रेडियो फीजी 2 बहुत पसंद है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Strict measures will be put into place by the Fiji National Sports Commission following what transpired at the Vodafone Premier League match last night between Ba and Lautoka. One of them is the prohibition of group clusters at sporting events. Akuladama with the details.
Sitting together with your family members at sporting events will not be allowed effective immediately.
We're going to have to put in place very strict rules to make sure what happened in Lautoka doesn't happen again. So we will not be encouraging any more bubbles.
The Ministry of Health acknowledges the reaction of relevant authorities last night as physical distancing was not followed.
I'd like to commend the Fiji police force who were out at Churchill Park last night enforcing the COVID-safe measures. In particular, this is the physical distancing between attendees at that football match. I know this is a new. Everyone is adjusting to a new normal in Fiji.
The match had to be halted for about 10 minutes as fans were asked to move out of the stadium and re-enter so proper seating and social distancing could be followed.
They had large groups of 12 and over people sitting in one bubble. So Fiji Football requested them to move and to socially distance, and they refused. So it was Fiji Football themselves that called in the police.
The Fiji FA says they'll make sure this does not happen again in the future.
We are committed to strictly follow the guidelines mapped out by the government, and of course, as part of our submission to the Sports Commission for accreditation, we have ensured that we will ensure this is followed.
1,700 patrons, players and officials attended the match last night, which was below the 50% capacity of 1,850. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
The Mba football team maintained its unbeaten run in the Vodafone Premier League, beating Lautoka 2-1 at Churchill Park last night. Following the win, Mba has jumped to second spot on the leaderboard with 9 points, while Lautoka drops to fourth with 7 points. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Sticking to the plan and getting the 3 points was the main aim for the Men in Black last night.
We actually came here with a mission, and this is, as I mentioned in the build-up, we take game at a time. So yes, our aim for this game was 3 points, and we are really proud of the boys.
Ba had a dream start when Manasa Nawakula scored in the first minute from a penalty spot. Ba led 1-0 at halftime. Lautoka upped the tempo in the first minute of the second half through Samuela Ngavo. However, it was Solowanga who broke the Blues fans' hearts after scoring a few minutes later. The new Lautoka coach says it's a learning curve for them.
This game gives me a benchmark for my analysis, and playing against Ba and doing the analysis is very good. Playing a great team of Fiji with great players, and I can do a better analysis of this game and improve the team and the players as well.
Ba will host Nasinu at the Fiji FA Academy ground this Saturday at 3 p.m, while Lautoka meet Navua on Sunday at the Uprising Resort ground at 3 p.m. Philip and Ikaso, FBC Sports.
Defending its Olympic gold medal has gotten a lot harder for the Fiji men's sevens during the pandemic. Head coach Gareth Baber, who's just extended his contract with the FRU, says they will have to endure a lot more in preparation for the postponed Olympic Games in Tokyo next year.
There's a reality of putting a group of players together and go and take on the challenge that is now just got even more difficult, as CEO has just indicated, and the challenges that we have in the funding mechanisms, but also just generally with the way the tournaments are going to be.
The 2020 Skipper Cup competition this year will be memorable for Suva captain Sireli Lendua. After playing in the front row for 15 years, the stocky 33-year-old has decided to hang up his boots at the end of the season to take up coaching. Karlaini Tavi has more.
Age has caught up with the tough hooker turned prop, and now Lendua says it is now time to give way to the younger players to showcase their talent.
Age is catching up. I've been playing since 18 years old, and I think I've played against some of my teammates. If Remerawang, play with them, Sudia Koto, and Kelly Leweri, and I've decided to retire from rugby, and I think it's also a good time to give young players a shot.
Speaking at the launch of the competition today, Fiji Rugby Union Chief Executive John O'Connor predicts the first match between Suva and Nandranga will be a thriller.
Well, it'll be a huge match. We're excited, but at the same time we are a bit worried because we're not sure how we're going to control the crowd, because we're just going to sell 50% of the ticket, but the interest generated.
Sponsor CJ Patel believes during these times, investing in sports like rugby is a risk worth taking.
Even when times are hard for all business houses, we strongly believe that investing in our sporting nation's future to groom our future rugby stars is an investment worth making.
Nandranga will host Suva at Lawanga Park next Saturday. Karlini Tavi, FBC Sports.
Fijian winger Semi Valime is set to make his NRL debut tonight. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp says his side have to learn after the champions' hopes of setting a new Premier League points record ended as they suffered only their third defeat of a stellar campaign at Arsenal. The Reds were beaten 2-1, ending their chance of eclipsing the 100-point tally set by then-champions Manchester City 2 seasons ago. In today's Play of the Day, we take a look at Harry Kane's 2 goals against Newcastle. That's taken him past a total of 200 goals at club level. That's it from Sports Tonight. In new media after the break, the Huawei 5G conflict continues. This and more coming up.
My name is Charlotte. I'm from Navintamo. We love listening to the FM.
My name is Koto. I'm from Nagaranga. I love Today FM because of latest hit music and Today FM rocks.
My name is Sulweti. I'm from Nagaranga. Today FM rocks.
In new media tonight, Britain has denied claims made by President Donald Trump that he was responsible for the country's decision to ban Huawei from its 5G network. This came after the UK announced it will ban Huawei from its 5G networks. And it's weather time now with Kritika.
There was generally fine weather across Fiji today, with lots of sunshine and cool southeast winds. In the west, it was mainly sunny and a bit warmer than in the east. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, there was some cloudiness mixed with sunny spells and a few light scattered showers. And up north, more sunshine and a fine day. Tonight is going to be quite cool everywhere, with temperatures around the low 20s. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots along with moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, low tide will be at 9:17 tonight, followed by high tide at 3:35 a.m. Sunrise at 6:37 a.m. For tomorrow, there won't be much changes. The sunny cool weather will continue with a chance of light occasional showers in the east. Looking further on to Saturday, once again sunshine and cool breezes with only a slim chance of showers along eastern shores. That's the weather for now. Back to Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Kritika. In Fiji and Pulse tonight, we ask, do you agree with the Corrections Service reasoning for Aminonina Silasila being allowed to play rugby?
I do agree with the correction service.
I agree with the correction service.
Maybe, some difference to the rugby, give some chance,
I agree with the correction service because it's part of their rehabilitation program.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, banks await direction on COVID-19 assistance. Corrections Service defends Nasila Sila rehabilitation and Housing Authority to strengthen internal processes. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. A poll question we're asking, are you excited to be watching National League matches live on free-to-air TV for the first time? Visit our FBC website to answer. And before we go, our shot of the day, Satya Ram sent us this shot from the hidden paradise of Savu Savu. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow from the team and I, stay safe. Bye for now.
Na vango la tila tarelau au daptu mana korbatura on tawaran na kinuele na santa konrobe to talita kana warang wale na mula fam ira kena serap kena tuta vaka do matagreden
pula la haka terstia au wati tulo toka au talita kana warang na mula fm na banduan serre
solomina gua tawasan betapa to warang na mula fm na banduan serre
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.